Now, yes, we are. Yes, so we're recording. Yes. Good morning, everyone. So what we're doing this morning is because some people were, they were sending us messages and putting things in the comments saying, listen, we're in the United States, we don't get to come on your live stream, so we don't get to see it. So what we're doing is we're going to live stream on this one, and then we're actually recording at the same time on this one here. Then we'll upload the live stream.
Thank you, John.
And then we'll upload the live stream onto the other platform so you guys can watch this at your leisure. So, guys, just before we start, don't forget to tap the screen, like, share, subscribe. All that stuff really helps us out. The first thing I want to talk about is what happened yesterday in Europe. Oh, hang on a minute. I think I've just broken something. Right. So what we're doing is we're doing videos for our subscribers that are a little bit more, not sensitive, but those ones that would potentially be taken down out of the algorithm. Because like I keep saying, we're getting so many videos taken down. Now, yesterday for our subscribers, we did a video warning about the sleeper cells and that sleeper cells could be activated. And then literally, I think the same day later on that afternoon, we had incidents in Europe where, people are saying, mainstream media are saying that sleeper cells have been activated. And this is kind of the stuff that we can push out to the subscribers. And the reason we can't put this out into the open for everyone is literally, guys, we will get those articles taken down, because if I say something's going to happen, it's misinformation because it's not happened yet. So if I say, right, okay, an asteroid, I'm just speculating, an asteroid's going to hit Earth on X date, that's misinformation because nobody knows that because it's not there. And unless that's been, I think, corroborated by 2 mainstream media articles, it's misinformation. That's how it works. Now, I can predict these things and I can speculate and I can say things that may or may not happen.
Thank you for your subscription, Scott.
And, and this is why we can get that out to the subscribers. And I'd love to be able to get this out to everyone. I really would. But the reality is we just get so many videos taken down and we've got like a health check with the platform and we're starting to go down on the health check. So I think we're still in green, but I think like maybe 1 or 2 more videos taken down. We go into amber, then we get into red, and then you get your
account banned.
You get your account banned, it deletes, it vanishes, and it doesn't come back. So so I will try and do as much as I can, but I'll have to use like veiled speech and keywords and all sorts of mad stuff. But like I said, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tap the screen before we begin. Right, so a couple of things that have been out in the United Kingdom. An article, it was basically talking about a mass increase in HIV cases in the United Kingdom now. And the article, I will put links to the article on those guys after the video is uploaded. But basically, there's been a mass uptick in cases of HIV from people contracting HIV in other countries, and the overwhelming majority of these cases are from Africa. Now, the article, guys, don't forget to tap and like and subscribe because this is one of those things people need to understand and people need to know.
Thank you, pigeons are coming for subscribing.
Thank you guys for subscribing, and we need to understand how these statistics, what the statistics actually mean, because there's obviously the one story about the uptick in HIV cases in the United Kingdom, and I mean, I didn't realize that we were on a path to eradicate HIV in the United Kingdom by 2030. That's what people were pushing towards. Now with this huge uptick, it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Thank you, Susan.
Guys, but what I want to talk about is the statistics and the way that the media are reporting this. And I think there was a book. Who what's his name?
Can I just tell everybody, Lauricia has sent a treasure box to the top of the screen, and there's 100 coins in there.
I don't know what that means, but I would love a coin. Oh, guys! Also on tomorrow's live, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So if you want to join, we're going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to be giving away a T-shirt, and we're going to try and do that as much as we can. And every Friday, we're going to try and give something away to the top gifter. So it might cost you £1, it might cost you a little, we don't know how much it's going to cost, but we're going to try and give something away to you guys every month, every Friday.
Pigeons are coming. Just put. I keep missing the YouTube lives. Is it still on?
Yeah. So we're trying to work out what's the best way to get the media out there, because we're doing videos on YouTube on our other platform. We're doing videos on here. We're going live on here. So we will still be doing them. And on Friday we'll be double streaming again. But we're not doing the YouTube lives as of now at that time of night. We're trying to figure out what the best time to do it is. I don't know what that answer is, but we will be doing lives again on both platforms. We just don't know what times they are.
UK Veteran 13, gift of the day all week.
What's that?
It just says gift of the day all week.
Oh, just of that day then on Friday. And what I want to do with that is as well, we want to get more stuff, like better stuff. And whether it costs us 100 whatever pounds, we will literally give that away to the top gifter, whether that is £1 or whatever, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so the statistics with this HIV thing. Now the statistics have come out and they've said that there's been an uptick of I think it was 51% of cases reported in England. Now this is 51%. This is data from 2023, and this is a 51% uptick on 2022. But my question is, what's the actual uptick, for example, over 10 years? Because you can, this is how statistics, you can lie with statistics. You can say, well, there's been an uptick of 50% over the last year. Okay, what was it the year before that? Because if it went up 50% from the last year and it's now 50% on that, then the curve is going exponentially, and if there's any kids, any I don't mean to insult anyone's intelligence, but 50% of 100 is 50. And then if that goes up again, then 50% of 200 is 100. So you can see how it's still 50%, but the actual number in cases could be rising exponentially. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tap the screen if you can.
Share the live if you can.
Share the live if you can. And guys, yesterday I put a video out to our subscribers, and I warned about the activation of sleeper cells. I said that was a likelihood that could happen. And then later on that day, there was literally, activation of sleeper cells in Europe. That's what the mainstream media are calling it now. So I will try and get videos to the subscribers that are a little bit more of the type that would get, scrutinized and potentially taken down and, banned. So we can only do that to the subscribers. And, I will try and get, guys, I'll try and get as much information out to you guys as I can. Yeah, so that's kind of this whole thing at the moment with the with people coming over from Africa. Now, what I want to talk about again is what we've been talking about for a lot of.
This one, pigeons are coming. Is it a possibility that some of the illegal migrants are sleeper cells?
Well, that's what so from an article from GB News that was published yesterday. Remember, there's only I have to go off mainstream media, but nothing's hidden anymore. All right, nothing is hidden anymore. And nothing gets hidden. All you have to do is be able to understand which information to believe. So, an article from GB News yesterday, I'll put it in the link for you guys. Said that. Well, it basically said there could be sleeper cells working in the United Kingdom. It said the Iranians have said this. The Iranians have said they will put sleeper cells in the United Kingdom. So from what we can understand from GB News, yes, there are sleeper cells in the United Kingdom. And what I'll say on that, I said this quite a lot yesterday.
Thank you, Sharon.
Wouldn't it be a good tactic for the United States military before they invaded Iraq if they could trickle feed their soldiers into Iraq, and wouldn't it be a fantastic achievement strategically if strategically, the US government could get the Iraqi government to pay for the American soldiers and put them up in hotels, feed them, give them dental care, give them health care while they're waiting for the invasion? Wouldn't that be a fantastic tactic? Now, that's all I will say on that, So it comes from GB News. It's a likelihood. We talked about this in one of our videos to our subscribers yesterday. So I feel like I can say now, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And these are the things we've been warning about for such a long time. When you have this many people coming into the country, I mean, there was an article by Tim Collins
Thank you, Pix.
There was an article by Tim Collins a couple of days ago, and he actually said that we have more migrants in the United Kingdom in hotels, undocumented migrants. You know, these guys have come here illegally. They don't have a visa. They're just in hotels, and we're paying for that. We have more of those than we actually have soldiers in barracks. So it's absolutely insane, the situation. But what I want to do is now quickly, for me now, I see this is my opinion. I see no way that we don't go into a global war now of an industrial scale. There's too much happening around the world right now. I mean, people don't understand the actual calamity in the Middle East right now. It's just insane what's happening there. And what I want to do is I want to cast everyone's minds back to the 1930s. If we look back at the 1930s now, historians look at this and they say, yeah, this was the road to war. And looking back at it through history, it's so obvious, like leading up to what was it, 1939? Leading up to 1939, it was so obvious that the world was heading for, a global conflict. I mean, you've got 1931, you had an invasion by Japan. Then you had something that nobody talks about. I think it was 1936. You had the Spanish Civil War, that the Germans were really heavily involved in. And a lot of people say that in the Spanish Civil War that the Germans, honed their trade and they militarized themselves.
UK veteran 13, but mistakes have been forgotten and are being repeated.
Yeah, exactly. But if you lived in the 1930s, no doubt you will have had politicians thinking they could sort peace deals out, and the general population would have thought, oh no, nothing's going to happen, it's going to be fine. And then obviously you have Adolf Hitler rising to power with the Nazi Party in Germany, the invasion of Poland in 1939, and then pretty much everything else is well documented and well taught. But it's the before 1939 that it's really key, because looking back through history now and looking at that, it's kind of obvious that that was going to happen. And I think the key one is the Spanish Civil War in 1936. Go on, sorry.
Larry C's put, what do you think will happen once Israel retaliate back at Iran?
So I think Israel, well, you're going to have, I think at that point, you're going to have to, my opinion is, I don't see any way now that this can't just explode into, out and out war. Because you've got on the streets now in Israel. I mean, this is how absurd it is. You have people like cheering when these missiles go over, and like they're chanting "Death to America." I mean, they're chanting "Death to America" in the streets of Iran. That's what's happening in real time in Iran. They're chanting "Death to America." So and then you'll get liberals saying, what they actually mean is death to the, they don't want to be reliant, their oil sales don't want to be reliant on the US dollar anymore because they want, it's absurd. No, they're chanting what they mean, death to America, So you'll see the United States get involved, which it has do. And I think it's really interesting that, remember how it was on the media that the United Kingdom was involved in this, the United Kingdom was involved in protecting the skies over Israel. It turns out the RAF aircraft didn't actually intercept anything. They were just flying around. So I think that's kind of telling. I think what happened behind the scenes, and this is just me behind the scenes, I think at some point behind the scenes, somebody said, right, RAF, you need to get up there. And the RAF guy says, look, we can't be seen to be getting active involvement. And somebody said, look, they've sent a load of missiles. You guys, you really need to get up there. And then somebody from the RAF or the government said, well, do you know what? We'll get up there and we'll intercept if it's absolutely necessary. But otherwise, we kind of want to start to divert away from your conflict. Go on.
Sharon thought it's disgusting, cheering, no one wants war. Pigeons are coming up. Iran could stop selling oil to the West. Do you think that will happen? Yeah,
absolutely. So the Iranians, so if you think about Iran on the south coast of Iran, you've got the Strait of Hormuz, which is, and again, back last year, when these things happen, I straight away, I think, right, What's the problem in that region? And straight away, there's a choke point off the south coast of Iran. It's called the Strait of Hormuz. It's about 50 kilometers. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you tap the screen. Really, honestly, you've no idea how much tapping the screen helps us out in the algorithm, guys, when it pushes our videos forwards. So, yeah, so the Strait of Hormuz controls, depending on where you look, people are saying that the Strait of Hormuz controls 20% of the world's oil supply. So you've got the oil-rich. It's not just Iran's oil that the Strait of Hormuz controls. You've got Iraq, you've got Kuwait, you've got all those oil-producing states. You've got Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, Dubai, and all those, potentially not Dubai, but all those oil-producing nations. They have to ship their oil through the Strait of Hormuz. So not only can Iran stop Iranian oil coming to the West, they can stop any other ships that they feel are going to the West. So any other oil from Iraq, any other oil from Kuwait, the Iranians can stop it. And, I remember when I first said this on this platform, actually, and there were people saying, oh, the US Navy has sent XYZ, task groups out there with aircraft carriers. I was like, right, okay, you can't sink Iran. You can sink those ships, and we got quite a lot of flack for that. But look at how the Houthis in the Red Sea have managed to literally control shipping there. The Houthis don't even have a navy. They don't even have their own long-range missile capabilities, and they've managed to stop that shipping. So Iran, with their navy, with the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and their own, long-range missile systems that we know can travel well over 50 kilometers, they will 100% be able to close the Strait of Hormuz. And that in turn could put a choke point on oil, which would put a choke point on the price at the pump. Not only the price, and people don't understand that. Not only if the price at the pump goes up, the price of everything goes up, because that's your shipping, that's your transport, that's your buses, your trains, your taxis, anything that uses an internal combustion engine or a compression engine in the case of diesel. The price will go up. So that price then gets passed forwards to the customers. So the price of food goes up, the price of everything goes up, because everything comes from energy. So, in a nutshell, yes, they could close the, go on, Sarah.
UK Veteran 13, I'm sure the states want to use some daisy cutters and try to sink Iran.
So we're talking about munitions and trying to sink Iran. I just don't from what we've seen, and from what the Iranians will have done. They will have taken lessons from Iraq in 2003. The US Air Force and US Navy, they did, I think it was like a 5-day, 24-hour bombing campaign on Iraq. They just scorched earth the whole place. They obliterated any tank, any fighting position, to a state where, people were just running off from their positions because they knew there was nothing they could do against the US Air Force or the US Navy. And, I think Brits had maybe one aircraft or something. So the Iranians will have looked at this and they will have said, right, we're not even going to try and defend against this. We're just going to go straight away underground. And, the Iranians have so many underground bases, so many underground tunnels. I mean, this new war, there's been new documents and new doctrine released about underground warfare and fighting in tunnels since the invasion of is it an invasion? Since the Israelis, is it an incursion? Is it an invasion? It's hard to keep up, guys. But basically, since the Iranians went into Gaza, they've wrote whole new military studies now on how to fight in these deep underground tunnels. And I think there's now training courses in the military on how to conduct operations in these tunnels, because the tactics are a lot different. Normally when you do, I don't want to bore you guys with tactics, but normally when you're doing tactics, it would be, your preparation, your reaction to effective enemy fire. Then you'd locate the enemy, you'd win the firefight. You would attack, which is broken down into 3 phases: the attack, the approach, the assault, and the fight through. Then you do a reorganization. That's kind of conventionally. Obviously, when you're fighting in a built-up area, when you're fighting in a wooded area, these things are well documented and these things are well trained on. Fighting in tunnels, fighting inside tunnels, you kind of can't do the same tactics. Go on, Sarah.
Pigeons are coming as put. Does the UN have any power to de-escalate the situation?
So, no, so the situation in the Middle East is dictated by the Israelis. And, the Israelis are not going to back down. Look through history. The Israelis won't back down. They don't, and I mean this with no disrespect to anyone, but the Israelis don't care what the UN think. The Israelis don't care to some extent, they don't care what the United States thinks. The Israelis don't care, and I think more countries should not care what other countries think about other than their own country. But the Israelis won't listen to the UN, and then who's going to enforce that? So is somebody going to go in? No, simple answer, no. The UN can't put any they can put pressure on them, but they won't listen. With David Lammy, for example. David Lammy went out there, the British Foreign Secretary, he went out there to sort all the problems, and he was going to deal with it, and he was going to come back with a peace deal. He's going to go, big DL, got this, bro. But the reality of the situation is they didn't talk to him. They didn't want to listen. So, he couldn't do anything. What I think is really... Go on, Sarah.
What's the point in the UN? That's one of the questions that's just come up.
Yeah,
What is the point in the UN?
So the United Nations and, to a further extent, NATO was... it's kind of a peacekeeping organization where rather than be at war with each other, those nations could work on, they could work on global problems together and, lift people up. But, it just doesn't work. And not the UN, but the NATO, these articles in NATO, what people keep relying on. People keep saying that, this will, if Russia attacks Poland, it'll be an Article 5 issue. Guys, honestly, I've read the whole document, and the document does refer, and again, I don't want to bore anyone with technical articles, but the article refers back to the UN article, I think it's 59 of international conflict. But anyway, if you read all these articles, all Article 5 of the NATO treaty says is, yes, it says an attack on one nation will be considered an attack on all nations, yes, but then it doesn't say what actions to be taken next. All it says is the Security Council will take action, whatever action necessary to restore peace in that region. So if the Russians move in somewhere and do a blitzkrieg and there's no fighting, how can under those articles, how can anyone do anything? Because there's already peace. Guys, don't forget to tap the screen and like. Honestly, guys, you've no idea how much help the tapping does when we get pushed up the algorithm. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tap, share the live if you can. Don't forget, we're actually recording this at the same time on those guys, and we'll be putting that on our other platform with all the relevant links that we spoke about. So the situation in the Middle East just going to get further and further. If we look back through history, if we look at the Second World War, the build-up to the Second World War, you can argue that, the build-up of the Second World War actually started in 1931 with Japan's invasion of Manchuria. So, and then you just had more and more escalations around the world until 1939. Look what's happening here, guys, all right? We had an invasion of Ukraine in 2024. You've had another invasion in 2022. We've now got the Middle East problems. We've got Iran getting involved. We've got all this stuff happening. I just don't see a way that I don't see a way that we back down out of this. I really don't. But anyway, so what I want to bring you, for you guys in the United Kingdom, I want to bring you on something that I just thought was really funny. So remember how, I think yesterday or maybe the day before, we give the analogy, or we talked about how the Roman Empire fell. And we said, it fell because the Senate were corrupt and they were scheming behind people's backs, and they were, and I kind of I said, well, you know, in the United Kingdom, you could make the analogies there with the civil service, and I'm sure in the United States and other places around the world, you have special advisors behind the scene, and that special advisor may have been that were this I was wobbling. That special advisor may have been there for 10, 20, 30 years, and they're going to keep them there because they are a special advisor and they've got a lot of information. But with that, their thoughts and opinions, they can drive those political decisions. So, you know, for example, David Lammy, when he goes to Ukraine, do we think David Lammy is an expert on, well, okay. Do we think David, I'm not going to be rude to David Lammy. Do we think David Lammy is an expert on Ukraine, Slavic culture, and Russian Orthodoxy? Do we think that? No, of course not. You know, so he will use his special advisors. So who is his special advisor? Because he'll do as he's told of his special advisor. So that's kind of the thing I'm talking about with the civil service behind the scenes. And, you know, I used to think it was a bad thing and we should only have elected officials making decisions. But honestly, looking at our elected officials right now, I'm like, you know what? Thank goodness we do have a civil service behind the scenes now. Again, at least they're competent and they know what they're talking about. And then,
but I don't think he's an expert on anything. Probably can't even make a cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him when he went and met the president of the United States, and he was wearing trainers, and one of his laces were undone. It was wild.
Okay, Veteran 13, they need experts and experience to guide them.
Yeah.
Pictures put David Lammy can't use his own eyes.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. But anyway, so about these civil servants, so. It came out that the civil service have now voted in favour of an all-out strike because, get this, they were asked to go into the office and do work from the office 2 days a week. So what are they doing now? Are they doing it no day? Are the civil service just work from home? Do they go into the office 1 day a week? I genuinely didn't know this, but like, what state of the world are we in now where people are going on strike because they have to come into work 2 days a week? It's absolutely absurd. So, you know, and when these civil servants go on strike, who's going to be looking after David Lammy? Who's going to be looking after Keir Starmer? Who's going to be making sure Angela Rayner doesn't do any more gaffes? You know, that's when the war's probably going to be, announced when all the civil servants are on strike, because there's a scene in that film, isn't there? I want to say Team America.
What part of the civil service are you talking about? The desk workers or the seniors? That's when pigeons are coming.
So I think they're talking. Well, I'll read you the article here. Civil servants vote for an all-out strike in response to being required to return to the office for only 2 days a week. I would assume that is the office workers, because, like, you know, when you're I've been in senior roles, and when you're in a senior role, you're on meetings, you're meeting a diplomat, you don't really have to answer to anyone. So I would say that's the desk workers, but that's my speculation. Of that, and again, like if you've had a senior role yourself, the more senior you are, the less work you do. So those senior roles will probably not be office based anyway. They'll probably be out and about. And the fact that they've voted for an all-out strike, it means that everybody's striking. So that would mean I'm assuming that would mean the masses.
Yeah, UK Veteran 13. They all move to the country and work online.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? I wonder why the civil servants are not wanting to stay in the not wanting to stay in the big cities. So again, with our political class at the moment, remember when Angela Rayner came, when she was doing big box, little box in Ibiza, and I mean, I'm not judging, each to their own. She's a 40-year-old woman or thereabouts. I think, I don't know how old she is. I'd assume she's a 40-year-old woman. No disrespect if she's miles younger. But what is she doing going to Ibiza? And like I can't think of anything worse. Can you, Sarah?
No, Shaman Orange just put David Lammy was only in the job a week and gave away 600 million to Ukraine. Yeah, and you know what, Sharon? That if you look where that money goes, if you look on the .gov website, that money, so this was at a time when we're having cuts to our own pensioners, all right?
I think it was the same day, actually. So yeah, you're right, Sharon, actually. It was the same day. So the same day that the government, I may be slightly wrong here, guys, but I may be slightly wrong here with the days, but I'm certainly not wrong with the content. So I think it was the same day that the government announced the cuts to the winter fuel budget. That was the same day David Lammy was in Ukraine announcing this new 600 and whatever million it was to the Ukrainians. And if you look where that money's going, that money goes to pay Ukrainian pensions and to pay Ukrainian civil servants. You could not make this up, guys. Honestly, I will put the link in the description on that platform, so you really couldn't make it up. I was just looking and thinking, you know what? I'm British. I've got a lot of friends in Ukraine. Kiev's one of the places we potentially like to live. Is this really what the government's for? Funding pensioners in another country while we can't fund our own pensioners? Is this is this what we voted for? And when I was canvassing for reform, I was knocking on a lot of doors, and I spoke to a lot of old people, and I said, listen, do you mind if I ask you who you're voting for? And pretty much a lot of the people said they would be voting for Labour, and I said, why? And they said, well, Labour have always been good to us, and we don't like Rishi Sunak. I just love to go back to those people and just say, listen, how is it working out for you guys now? Because honestly, the road that we're on in the United Kingdom is it's just absolutely insane.
UK Veteran 13 just put Camelot's lottery pays for Canadian pension funds.
What's that? Sorry, say that again.
Camelot lottery pays for Canadian pension funds.
I did not know that. I mean, I think that's a good. But then what happens with Camelot if is that Camelot in the United Kingdom? Is that Camelot in the United Kingdom, or is that in Canada as well? So while he gets back to us, so another thing that's come out in the United Kingdom, which
National Lotteries, yeah.
Okay. So another thing that's come out in the United Kingdom, and we've been seeing this on a personal level for quite a while. But what you're having now is you're having a mass exodus of private landlords in the United Kingdom. Lots of people are selling up. And the reason they're selling up is because the government are taxing them too much. And this is kind of a canary in the coal mine at the moment of you're going to get this mass exodus of people with money leaving the United Kingdom. And then when people with money leave the United Kingdom, who's going to pay all the taxes? Literally, who's going to pay the taxes when the rich people leave? Guys, don't forget to like the screen, like the the live, share the live if you can. If you got what we're doing as well, we're recording this live at the same time, and we're going to put it on YouTube. In fact, let me look how it is. Let me see if we're still recording. We are indeed. So yeah, we're going to be putting it on 2 platforms because we've had a few comments saying, listen, I don't live in the United Kingdom, and when you guys go live in the morning, it's 4:00 in the morning here. We miss everything. So yeah, so we're going to record these as well and put them on our other platform so we can share the links that we're talking about and share a bit more information in the description below. Guys, what I will say is we do a lot of, we try and get we do get videos out to our subscribers now every day. And what I do on those videos, I give a little bit more analysis because on those videos to the subscribers, they won't get they won't get taken down and they're not under as much scrutiny. But what I'll say is, yesterday I warned our subscribers about sleeper cells and the likelihood of an incident involving sleeper cells. Obviously, I can't say exactly what's going to happen. I can't say where it's going to happen because I don't have a crystal ball. But what I can do is give you my thoughts and opinions, which is what I did yesterday on, to our subscribers. Then literally a couple of hours later, what I said would happen happened in Europe. We had incidents in Denmark. We had incidents in Sweden. And the mainstream media are now calling, the mainstream media, I'll put links on you guys, are calling this, sleeper cells have been activated. So, obviously we're not always right. We don't always get things right this quickly. It's not always, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not always bang for your buck straight away as quickly and as easily identifiable as that. But, We are getting videos out now to our subscribers, and we are putting exclusive content to our subscribers. So if you were considering doing that, guys, obviously, if you do that now, is that still happening?
Yeah, it's a something. It's a little bit cheaper at the moment.
So there's a percentage off if you subscribe now, guys. All right. So it's up to you whether you subscribe. But on a Friday, we'll be doing. Everybody can comment on a Friday. It gets wild. Tomorrow, it's gonna. What time we're going for tomorrow? Sarah?
8 o'clock.
Tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We are going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to be giving away some stuff to the highest gifters. This may cost you £1. It may cost you more. We don't know. But what I want to do is
864 for subscribing.
Thank you, user 864, for subscribing. We will get you exclusive content. You know, we'll push as much exclusive content out to you guys as we can. And again, guys, honestly, I don't want this to be like me trying to. We're getting so many videos taken down now, honestly. And the reason and the problem with the videos is, and it's right, the way TikTok are doing it, it's 100% right, because I will say, guys, listen, I think this is going to happen, you know. Now, because it's not happened, that's fake news. It is fake news. But when it happens, it's happened, and I can't warn you about it because it's already happened. And it's a lot of my analysis, a lot of my speculation, and, you know, a lot of my opinions. But, you know, check back through my videos. You know, we've been warning about these days are coming. We've been warning about what's happening. And, you know, like I said, and I don't know if you guys have just joined the stream, but when I said at the beginning of this video, if you look back through history now and look at like 1931 when Japan invaded Manchuria, that people are saying is the beginning to the build-up to the Second World War. You've then got the Spanish Civil War in 1936. You've then got the rise to power of Adolf Hitler. You've then got the invasion of Poland in 1939. And that's when people kind of started. Well, look what's been happening right now, guys. You've got the invasion of Ukraine in 2014. You've got another invasion of Ukraine in 2022. I don't even know how to describe what's happening right now in the Middle East, because you can say, I mean, people, I don't know how they'll talk about it in the future. You can say that Israel invaded Gaza, then they invaded Lebanon, and then they're having a war with Iran. And so the whole conflict in the Middle East, it's just so volatile at the moment. And I genuinely don't know how to describe it. I really don't. It's just, I think chaos would be the best word. You know, I mean, we was watching the footage of these missiles coming into Israel the night.
Thank you, May Bateman, for your subscription.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for your subscription. We'll be getting exclusive videos out to you guys, and, you know, as much as we can, and especially when we see something happening that, you know, we might not be able to get back to do a proper video, we can just do a quick video on, you know, on the mobile wherever we're out, and get that information out to you guys.
And thank you to all of those subscribers what have subscribed from the beginning: Willow, Sharon, Tina, everyone who was on there. Thank you. And
you guys are fantastic, and a lot of people are saying, we're getting a lot of, you know, a lot of people, other platforms are coming up to us and saying, Sean, why are your subscribers the best looking on this platform? That's what they're saying. They're saying that our subscribers are the best looking subscribers on the platform. That's not me saying that. That's a lot of people are saying that. We're getting a lot of private messages saying that. Wow, can you see the sun has really come in, hasn't it? We're still trying to fight with the sun. I think I'll win it at some point. You know, brings you back to it. Sorry guys, I'm going off topic, but you know, all these taxes about the green agenda, right? Nobody's talking about the sun. Now, I don't know, you know, I certainly don't have a thermometer by the sun. I really don't, you know, and I don't have satellite technology to go up and measure this stuff myself. But what I do know is that the polar caps are melting on Mars. So my question would be, if the sun's not getting hotter, why are the why are the polar caps on Mars, you know, getting hotter? And also, if you look at, you know, scientific journals, people are saying that the sun is going through a cycle and it's at a really hot point now. So when we get taxed, when David Lammy stands up there and he says he's gonna, you know, we're gonna fight climate change, do we mean that our tax money is gonna somehow lower the temperature of the sun? Is that a thing now? Is that where we're going? I don't know what to make of it. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. I would logically, I would think our taxes won't be able to bring down the temperature of the sun, but who am I? You know, I don't have the intellectual background of, you know, Keir Starmer, David Lammy, Angela Rayner, and all the rest of the, you know, of the intellectual heavyweights that run our country, unfortunately. So what else have we got, guys? What else have we got for you guys today? So I just really wanted to focus on this, on this timeline of events from the Second World War, and then contrast that with what's been happening now in the United Kingdom, in Ukraine, in Israel. While we're talking about space a little bit as well, and satellites and stuff, for those of you, because some of you guys, when the internet went down, you said you should get a Starlink system. Well, it's really expensive, but I don't know if I'm seeing this, or I don't know if I'm just making it up in my mind. Let me know what you guys think. But I always look at things and look at the weed, look at the weeds and look what's growing up through the weeds. So look at things that are said out of context, or you think, right, why is that news article being published? So you guys know I've said many times that Elon Musk's company in America, he's US military. He's not a civilian contractor. He's US military. So his satellite system, that's like a military satellite system. So when the invasion of Ukraine happened, look what happened. He gave a load of Starlink terminals to the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians could communicate. The Starlink system and the NLAW rocket launch, is it NLAW? Yeah, the NLAW rocket launcher, they're the two things alone that repelled the initial invasion in 22. So, okay, right. So Elon Musk sent a load of satellites to the Ukrainian military. All right, fair enough. So what other systems does he have? He has the Starlink, the spaceship, whatever, Starship. All right, okay, so he's going to Mars. He's not going to Mars with that, guys. That is a troop. That is a troop carrier. That gives whoever controls that system, that gives them the ability to locate, I think, 100 tons of military equipment anywhere in the world within 90 minutes. That's what that does. You can't stop that. It's impossible to stop that. So you can imagine now the Starship system or whatever it is, can you imagine filling that with US Marines or whatever, and then landing that directly at the Kremlin, landing 10 of them at the Kremlin, right in the middle of Russia? There'd be no response to it. There's absolutely zero response to that. You can't defend against that. And once those troops are on the ground, you've pretty much you've taken that area. Then it will take a long time for those to mobilize and fight inwards. Go on, Sarah.
Yeah, UK Veteran 13's put in the next major conflict will more than likely start with satellites being taken out.
Yeah. So with it, so the Starlink system was actually built. So back in 2017, I was in the space industry, and one of the things they were looking at, they were talking about the Galileo. I don't want to bore anyone, guys, but basically, our GPS is run in Europe, is run by a Galileo system, and it's a huge satellite in geostationary orbit. Everybody knows where it is. It's very vulnerable to Russian missile attack. We know the Russians can do this. They can do it on a MiG-31. They can send a missile up and take out satellites. They've done it. They've proved it. It's a done deal. So they were trying to figure out how to get a backup system. And the consensus was a lot of smaller satellites in low Earth orbit. Because if you take one out, you've got a lot of redundancy. Because they're smaller satellites, they're a lot easier to launch, and they're a lot easier to put back up in orbit. Elon Musk gave his Starlink satellites. Now, I think it's key that, and again, it's just one to look at for the future. So look how Elon Musk had his Starlink system up. Then the war in Ukraine happened, and then he used the Starlink system to help to help the Ukrainians. Also, I think in the floods in the United States, Elon Musk managed to divert 50 satellites over that region to give communication support. What other sensors do they have on them satellites? Now, this is the key thing, guys. Elon Musk just announced they're doing mobile network services. So does that mean at some point our mobile network services is going to go down? Because if all these things have a secondary military application and then they're used like months or like a year afterwards, this for me, and I don't know whether I'm seeing this unnecessarily or whether I'm just imagining it, but I'm certainly seeing this crop up now in the weeds, and I'm thinking, right, why is that happening? Is it because the military need another mobile phone signal and they're going to use a Starlink, and they're just going to push that out as a civilian mobile phone network? I think it's one I will keep an eye on this, guys. I'll keep watching this, because what could happen, and this is me wildly speculating now, we could have a situation where all our mobile phones go down and all our mobiles just turn off. Can you imagine how much chaos that would cause? Think now how much you rely on your internet. I mean, we witnessed it the other day when we had for like a week, we had like 6 days we had no internet. So we're so heavily reliant on it. You watch TV on the internet, you watch videos on the internet, you know, you literally our daughters do their homework on the internet, everything's on the internet. You can imagine going down, then your mobile network going down, nobody can communicate. I mean, we could literally be getting attacked by aliens and we would have no idea what was happening. We wouldn't. Nobody would be able to tell us what to do. Nobody would tell us where to go, anything, you know. And that's what would happen if our mobile phones and internet went down. And that's really easy to take down. You know, the government can flick a switch and that can happen. I can remember when I was in Baghdad in, I want to say like 2010. It might be 2010 time. There was a problem in the green zone where some of the security companies had not been renewing their licenses and they couldn't get them out of the green zone. So what the Iraqi army did, the Iraqi army just turned the internet off for everyone, turned mobile phones off for everyone. Guys, if you've ever been in that situation, it's terrifying. And then to go up on the roof and see Iraqi tanks like circle where you're living, and then hundreds of Iraqi troops get out and you're like, okay, what's happening here? Guys, it was absolutely terrifying. We had no mobile phone signal, no mobile data. We could see the British embassy. It was like there, like 500-600 meters away, but we couldn't communicate with them because the Iraqi army had turned the phones off. So do we think that the government don't have the ability to turn our phones off? So that's kind of the way I'm thinking this new announcement about the Starlink mobile. That's the way I'm thinking that's going. Right, guys, I've just got a couple more for you, and then I'm going to close it. Guys, don't forget to like and comment and tap the screen. Obviously, just tapping the screen helps us so much. You know, it's absolutely fantastic. So I don't want to talk about this one. I really don't. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh. No, guys, I'll do this one for our subscribers. I won't talk about it, but I'll put it in a link for you guys because I don't want to mention too many keywords. What I'll do is I'll go with the article here and then I'll leave out some of the keywords. So something happened to a woman in some toilets in Tesco's. Now this happened to the woman at like in the afternoon. It wasn't late at night. It was like between, I think it was, hang on, where are we? Yeah, it was between 1:30 and 2:30. So something happened to a woman. You can guess what it is. Now they're looking for a suspect who's described as an Eastern European man about 30 years old. So again, is this what we're importing? This sort of stuff that's happening now in broad daylight, in Tesco's toilets, like in the daytime when there's people walking around doing their shopping. Guys, honestly, when I bring the analogies about the fall of the Roman Empire, and I say the Roman Empire fell because of, and I identified the problems we're having now. The West are having the same problems that the Roman Empire had. It's hard to look at this thing and say, guys, did you politicians, never go to school? Did you not read history? Do you not know how these things work? Because it's absolutely terrifying the way things are going, and especially if you've got women in your family, young girls in your family. What kind of a world are we leading them to? I can remember when me and Sarah used to we used to go play out or whatever on a weekend, and there was never any danger of this happening. Yeah, there were other dangers and stuff, but there were never any danger of these things happening. And, like we said before, and I think I'll leave this as a final thought. Remember wouldn't it be fantastic if the US military, before they invaded Iraq, if they could have managed to trickle feed their soldiers into Iraq? Wouldn't it be brilliant if they were already there when the war started? And then, George Bush could have said, hey, guys in the hotels, go do what you were trained to do. Wouldn't that be a fantastic tactic? Wouldn't it also be an even better tactic if the US military could get the Iraqi government to fund these hotels, to pay for the food of these people that they're having in the hotels, to pay for the medical care of these people in the hotels, to pay for the life support of those, you know, soldiers they had in their hotels waiting for the war to begin. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Guys, thank you so much for you guys who've subscribed. We really appreciate it. We're going to close this video down now. Thank you for tapping. Thank you for liking. We're going to be live.
Thank you, Sharon.
Guys, we're going to be live tomorrow at 8. We're going to start the first of our giveaways. We'll explain more about that on Friday. So tomorrow at 8 o'clock. For those of you, if you've just got the back end of this video, we're going to put it on that platform. We're going to upload it. All the links I've talked about, you know, I'm going to be sharing all the links I've talked about. So if you want to go and do that, go and look at the links and you can look at these articles for yourself.
8 o'clock tomorrow night.
8 o'clock tomorrow night, guys. If you've not done so already, go check the link in the bio. And we're on 3 platforms now, guys. Go show your support on our other platforms. And I'm going to back to grid, guys. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. Are we off? Right, because I'm going to turn that one off. Okay. Right, guys, and for you guys who've stayed a little bit later, what do we talk about? Guys, I don't know if there's anything more to talk about. We're going to close off for you guys as well. I'll upload this video like I just said, and we're going to put the we'll put the links in the description if I can remember how to do it. Right, guys, there we are. Ending. Bye-bye.